This is keeping you broke. Let's talk about it.
These student loans, like the calls, are really making me regret ever going to college, considering I'm not even doing anything in my degree. But like these calls are just a reminder that I'm like, first of all, doing nothing with my life. Second of all, broke as shit. And yes, I hee hee ha ha about it here, but like it's literally not a joke. It's like embarrassing and it's like the most stressful thing. And I never want to be the person that's like, driven by money. Like that's not me, but like sometimes I wish I was so I wouldn't be in the position I am in. And like dealing with these calls and having to basically say my situation, like I literally cannot pay off an amount on these damn student loans. And then the fact that they're so relentless, they call every person in my family, they call people not related to me, but like associated with me, and I don't even know how they, it's just crazy. And it's like, I hate it. It's like you're coming at me for my own little debt when this country's in debt. Like, it's so frustrating and it gets me so angry. And literally, it's like, I avoid these calls at all times. They send me into full-on panic attacks. But then sometimes I just have to make the call because they're calling everyone else in my life. And it's so frustrating. And yes, maybe I did it to myself. Maybe I should be smarter about money. Maybe I should just take on any job that like will pay me, and I'm luckily finally starting a job, but it's not what I want to be doing. Not using my degree. It's another serving job. It's fucking working at Hooters at 28 years old, living back at home. It's like, and then it's moments like these that make me question whether anything I want to do in life is going to happen, like at this stage, because it's so annoying. And I just had to vent because fuck it all.
That one's tough to watch. It really is. Because I think one of the largest reasonings why so many of us millennials, Gen Zers, are being held back financially, not including inflation and everything else that's going on in this country, is unfortunately student loans. It is. And it sounds like she's in default. She probably has certain loans that have gone to collections, and that's what the phone calls are of all the people in her life. Like that sucks. I would say this. She made a point in there. She says, I don't want to be driven by money. That's something that I wanted to touch on really quick. Is I think people get like a bad taste in their mouth when they think like, oh, I'm driven by money because I want to be responsible, or because I have to make X amount of money to pay for this. And I try to when I talk to people, I try to switch it a little different. And I'm like, you're not driven about money. What you should be driven for or striving for is freedom, is happiness, is less stress, is the ability to be flexible in life and choose the jobs that you want to do. And in order to do that, you do have to take any job that's going to pay you money to get started and then to get the wheels going. But that clip is one of the main reasons why a lot of us are staying broke, and that is unfortunately student loans. It is a major hinder on a lot of people's finances. And the other crappy part about it is you cannot get rid of them in bankruptcy. So a lot of this in today's video, any age group is going to get value from. But I'm really hoping this touches base with some of my younger viewers out there. Maybe you're in college. Maybe you're about to go to college. If you are and you're watching my videos, you're way ahead of the ball game. Or maybe you're just out of college and you're trying to figure out life in this crazy time. Take these clips and take what I'm saying true to heart. Try to understand the processes and how this stuff works. And I promise you guys, if you start now, and no matter what age you are, and you stay away from these things I'm going to talk about in today's video, you will be much better off financially. I Promise.
This is how much my 70-pound golden retriever cost me a month. Starting off with more of like the fixed costs, I spent around $110 on his raw food and around $50 on his kibble. He does eat a mix of both, so the grand total for food is $160. Then moving on to pet insurance, we have Trupanion, and that is around $75 a month. Then moving on to like flea and tick and heartworm preventatives, that costs me around $35 a month. Now here's where it gets a little tricky to calculate, because I do buy a lot of miscellaneous supplies just kind of like when I run out, not monthly. So we're talking poop bags, bones, toothpaste, toys, collars, leashes, supplements, all that usually comes out to around $30 a month. And we don't take Ollie to the vet every single month, just, you know, when he needs to go. So if it's a month that he has to go, I usually spend no less than $100, so I would say $100 and up according to why he's at the vet. And I thought that I should also add that I do most of Ollie's grooming at home, so that saves me around $75 to $95 a month. I have taken him a couple times, but I honestly just prefer to do it myself. So in total, I spent around $300 a month on my dog. Still cheaper than a kid though.
Dogs are expensive. My wife and I got one before we had kids, which I feel like any typical American couple does. It's like a test before you are like, all right, we can keep a dog alive. Now let's see if we can keep a kid alive. I will say this about my dog. I absolutely love my dog. He's the best dog in the world, but I probably will never have another dog after him. It's more of the extra body that you have to worry about. I mean, when you go on vacation, who's going to watch your dog? It's a whole nother mouth you have to worry about to feed. It's just literally, it's another child you have to take care of. You have to train, you have to keep the exercise. I mean, there's a lot that goes in to having a dog. It's not just ooh, this is fun, let's have fun with this for a couple weeks and then leave it on its own. Like, it's literally another life that you have to take care of. And those vet bills, which, by the way, that dog eats like a freaking king. It eats better than I do, my God. But those vet bills is what will get you. Now, my wife and I do not have pet insurance because we choose to just cash flow everything that happens to my dog. We keep enough money in an emergency fund that if something, happens to pop up, we can cover it with cash payments. Now, if you can't afford that right away and you know you already have a dog, pet insurance may be the route to go. But dogs or pets in general can definitely keep you strapped, especially if you're trying to dig your way out of something financially that's burdening you. All it does is pull you back and take extra expenses out of your pocket. So I'll say this. If you're thinking about getting a dog, please wait till you are set up financially in order to take on that responsibility. Because the biggest problem I'm also seeing is dogs that are getting left. They're getting taken back to shelters because their owners simply cannot afford to take care of them. So be a responsible adult and do not take on a dog ownership or pet ownership until you are financially responsible and capable of actually taking care of that pet.
It's easy to avoid risk so much that it makes your life worse. Risk aversion is something that everyone has. It's a desire to not take a risk. It's a preference for more certainty in life, and taking too many risks is dangerous. We all need some degree of confidence that things will turn out in a predictable manner to live a healthy life. But if we look at every opportunity and decide not to take it when we realize that we don't know how it will turn out, then we will start to take less opportunities than is healthy. And we'll start to see even more uncertainty in the few actions we do take. Because running away from uncertainty doesn't give us more certainty. It actually makes us more uncertain of our remaining decisions. Establishing certainty comes from choosing to make a decision over and over again. And as you build up your decision-making abilities, you gain confidence and an ability to take a risk. Taking a risk is sometimes the safest thing you can do.
Ooh, that's good, y'all. So we've talked about the things that are going to keep us broke. Student loan debt, owning a pet. The third one is avoiding risk completely. Now, the age-old question of if you could go back and tell yourself one thing, what would it be? My answer is always the same for this question, and is I would go back and I would tell my younger self to take more risk. Now, I've taken my fair share of risk in life. I've lost money. I've made mistakes, and that's how I've learned and where I feel like I've gotten to where I am because of those risks I took. Especially when you are early in life and you literally have nothing to lose. Obviously, still be responsible, but take calculated risk in life. If you have an opportunity to go switch industries or careers into a completely different space, but you're not sure how it's going to turn out, you're not sure if you're going to be a good enough employee or you're going to know what to do, Who cares? Try it. I guarantee you can always go back to the employer you had before or somewhere like it. See, when we go through life and we avoid risk at all costs, one, I believe that takes the fun out of life. But two, I think we're missing out on a lot of opportunity of what could happen if you do take on the risk. Again, I'm not talking taking a risk of buying, let's take a risk of going into credit card debt to buy that Louis Vuitton bag. That's not the risk I'm talking about. I'm talking about big risk life decisions. Buying your first rental property, investing in the stock market, changing that career to go to that different job, whatever it is. It's okay to take risks. That's part of life. You just got to make sure they're calculated, but also sometimes you just got to jump in and do it and figure it out. So avoiding risk at all costs is definitely something that is significantly impacting your wealth. And speaking of risk, one big risk topic in every American's life is buying a home. If you guys are thinking about buying a home or refinancing, hit me up. Send me an email to jj@firstteammortgage. If you guys didn't know that, I am a mortgage broker, and I would love to help you guys out in the home buying process. I'll have my email listed down below in the description. Also, I'll pin a comment as well. If you guys have any questions about the home buying process, feel free to reach out because I love coaching my clients on how they can get the best deal possible and what they can do with their finances to get the best rate possible as well.
I never wanted to make this post, but here I am because I'm actually embarrassed. So I've been seeing people posting about their car payments. I mean, we live in tough times, so I feel like an idiot. So my car payment, I built a 2023 Tahoe that I got in October of 2023. And my payments were higher than I thought. I thought they were going to be around $800, which was fine. I mean, it's more than I've ever paid in my life. But it ended up being $1,100 for my Tahoe. I just have an LT. Nothing. I didn't add anything extra to it. My only thing I wanted was the captain's chairs for my kids. My husband a year ago got a 2024 truck somehow, brand new, Chevy 2500 HD, really nice truck. His truck is only $765 a month. I don't understand how his is cheaper than mine. But then we also built a house and we have a mortgage of $2,400 a month, which is fine, you know. Like I said, I come from parents that were like, save, save, save. So I'm almost 40. I've always had that mindset of stressed over money, save, save, save. But then once we got into our house, I lived with my parents for 3 years, rent-free, bill-free, just paid for my cheaper cars that I had at the time. So I'm in the mindset of, you know what, I don't give a crap anymore. I'm going to live my life and get what I want. And we do have money left over, luckily. You know, we can afford it and still pay for our kids to do sports and have essentially whatever they want. But I do hate the high car payments and I wish they weren't, but you know what? Like I said, I'm almost 40 and I really don't care anymore. You know, I saved my entire life for everything and it is what it is.
So the fourth thing that is keeping all of middle-class America broke is car payments. I would say that's probably single-handedly the worst mistake people can get in financially is taking on these high-ass car payments. I don't know what it is about all of you out there that want these big-ass car payments. I don't get it. So here's the thing I want to challenge this girl to. And again, I'm never trying to hate on the person of these clips that I react to on the channel. I'm strictly using these as teaching purposes or to make a point, right? So totally get where she's coming from. Been living with parents, you know, she finally got a house. She's said she's been saving her whole life, and she's like, I screw it. I want to go buy myself a nice car. I get that. Totally get it. It's so normal. But let's think about this. She said they luckily still have enough left over to, you know, to do sports and buy stuff for their kids or whatever. What happens when they're 65? What happens when they're 70? This is the problem with most middle-aged Americans right now, is we live this everyday life of we're getting by. You know, we got car payments, we got a mortgage, maybe credit card bill we got to pay every now and then if we, you know, spend a little more that month and can't afford it out of the checking account, or, But we still got a little left over to pay for sports and buy shoes and groceries, but we're doing all right. But what's investing look like? What's your retirement look like? Like, are you on track to be able to stop working if a health issue arises in retirement or whatever it is? That's what a lot of people don't think about, is planning for their future. I understand having fun now, guys, and I believe in that. But I also believe in getting yourself set up first. Take 1 to 4 years to grind as hard as you can on getting yourself set up financially. And then you can slowly start unwinding that red carpet of luxury, is what I like to say. Maybe you want to go buy yourself a little nicer car. If you're investing, have no other debt, except maybe rent or mortgage, and you're like, yeah, I can afford it, and you're going to go pay cash for that car, go buy the car. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you know you got all your ducks in a row financially, now is the time when you can do that. But if you're living every single month and you're not putting any money away for a rainy day, for savings, or for retirement, and you're saying, I'm just going to live life, like, you can do that. But what most people don't figure out until it's too late is when they get old enough age where they're like, I can't work anymore, or there's no choice, they have to continue to work to continue paying for their lifestyle. That's where it gets tough. And that's the stuff that does not get talked about enough in today's society. We are a consumer society where we spend. Give me all the stuff, give me all the stuff, give me all the stuff. And then by the time we hit old age, you have to end up taking a job at Starbucks or a Walmart or whatever because you literally cannot afford to get by. So plan now. Enjoy life now, obviously, but continue to plan now so that you're set up when you get to that retirement age. And one other thing on this, I hear this a lot in the comments. I hear this a lot in everyday conversation, is like, oh, well, I never know. You could be gone in 2 years. That's so true. So true. But if you do happen to leave this earth early, God willing that doesn't happen, don't you want to have your stuff set up for your significant others? Like, for example, me, like, I wouldn't want to leave this earth as a father, as a man, and then know that I have all these car payments, mortgage payments, credit card payments, all these bills that my poor wife would have to worry about when she just lost her damn husband. As a man of the house, I want to take control, and I want to know that my wife and kids have nothing to worry about financially if I happen to pass away tomorrow. That should be your goal, man. And I'm talking to men because I do think it's morally responsible for the men. And the women obviously are helping, but you got to take control of your household. You do. You have to take control of your household and get your stuff in order. So if something does happen to you, because men are most likely to die before the woman, that way your family is set up and your wife's not stressing about what to do with the kids. How are we gonna make ends meet? How are we gonna pay? That's where I also think term life insurance is a very important thing in every family's life, for both the man and the woman.
That's my Costco card.
How'd you get to $22,991 on Costco? What did you possibly do? How many times did you fill up your trailer with Costco gas?
That was before I owned my trailer. I'm pretty sure that had part of the concrete.
Oh, and the Costco card? So it wasn't even spending money you had?
No.
You were putting it on high interest rate credit cards? When you were borrowing this, did you have any intent to ever pay it back? Or were you just opening, spending, and you knew you weren't going to touch it?
That's a great question.
Do we have an answer to my question?
No.
Nope.
If I remembered.
It was only a couple years ago.
Uh-huh. Manic episodes are weird.
Uh-huh, what you can work with a therapist on.
Yeah.
Wait, why did you come on the show?
Because I don't know where to go from here.
But you're immediately, I can't do anything because of all these mental health things. Everything is, I can't do it because of this mental health thing.
It's not, I
can't do anything about that.
It's so hard.
But I can't do anything about that.
I know. No. Like, as far as the looking for income?
I don't know
As
your
far
mental
as
health. I don't know what's real. I don't know what you've been working on. I don't know the history. I can't do anything about that.
Right.
So if nothing can be done because of the mental health,
But
what can I do?
What do you mean nothing can be done?
It just feels like almost every time we talk about something that's can't or this is because both
Well, because
together
these were
mental health.
all the debt.
But even the stuff we
besides
talked
the
about
affirm.
today
Uh-huh.
doing, it's just like mental. Okay.
Another great episode by Caleb Hammer. If you haven't checked that one out, I think it's one of his most recent episodes he did. that one's a doozy. I'll say that. So first and foremost, what are all the ways that are keeping all of us broke today in America? What did we talk about today? We had student loans, we had buying pets, avoiding risk, car payments, and now we're talking about credit card debt. Those 5 things are probably one of the most main reasons why all of your everyday Americans are falling behind financially. I would say for the most part. There's obviously other ones I could talk about, but for today's video purposes, these are the 5 ones I wanted to discuss today because I feel like they are pretty important. Now, one thing I want to talk about real quick here, and I won't spend too much time on it, but this is something about this new generation, or that's just been getting more popular lately, is this, oh, I can't do everything because it's too hard because I have mental issues. Listen, I understand mental health, and I understand that there's struggles that people deal with on a daily basis, but the people who are constantly blaming mental health on reasons why they're not being responsible or don't take ownership of their own actions, I'm sorry, but a lot of that's bullshit. And some of you will hate me for that, but I don't care. I'm speaking my mind on it, and I think a lot of us need a little coming to God, if you can say, and feel like and realize we got to take our responsibility in our own hands. Because I've said this before and I'll say it again, no one's coming to save you. No one. No one's coming to save you from the financial ruin you've put yourself in. It's up to you to make the correct decisions to turn your financial life around. So if you can avoid your student loan debt or work on paying that off, maybe think twice about bringing a pet into your life right now. Don't avoid risk at all costs. Don't take on high car payments. Go buy a car you can afford to pay in cash. And lastly, stay out of freaking credit card debt, guys. It's one of the worst debts out there besides maybe like payday loans or something like that. It's a high interest debt that will literally keep pulling you down month after month. If you focus on all 5 of those things, I can guarantee your finances are going to be better. It just starts with you. You got to be the one to tell yourself that you can do it. And you're going to turn it around. I believe in you.